Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Just a heads up, my 9-month-old daughter is in the office with me today, so if you hear a little voice saying da da or any noise in the background, please try to look past it. So, anyways, silver fell pretty hard. This is going to separate the true stackers from the fake ones, the true believers from the skeptics. Anytime a correction or a decently sized drop in price happens, it always exposes who we really are. We learn a lot about ourselves and how much we truly believe in the market. A lot of people panic sold at $11 silver last March. That should have been when we were buying it. There's a pretty big shift in perspective from people who get it and those who don't. So, anyways, that being said, welcome. So right now, silver's down almost $2. It's in the $25 range again. And we've expected this. The last couple of months, I've been saying that we cannot expect any type of stability in pricing because the economy is not stable. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. And since silver went up so high, so fast, this is a correction. It's due. Went into overbought territory, just like Bitcoin is overbought right now. Bitcoin's at what? $40,000, shooting up hundreds and hundreds of dollars a day, thousands of dollars a week. And there's going to be a huge correction happening. Some people will call it a crash, but it's not a crash. It's just a sell-off. It's a dip. It's a correction. The markets are correcting back to more average prices. And that's what silver is doing right now too. It's going to go back up. You got to buy the dips, sell the tops. A lot of people look at it from a too skeptical, too hyper focused day-to-day perspective, and they forget the bigger picture. And it's easy to do that when there's articles coming out every day. There's a lot of FUD, which stands for fear, uncertainty, doubt, getting pumped out. You got to remember the bigger picture. You got to remember silver's true value. And this is the funniest part. People forget that silver was the number one performing asset in 2020. And it could even be a better year in 2021. So you see how it's so interesting if you look at things from a glass half empty, glass half full perspective. A lot of people are just going to focus on silver being down $1.75. They're not going to remember that it was the number one performing asset in 2020. That's why I try to make videos coming from a transparent, full circle type of idea, because you could either look at this article and read it, or you can look at this article and read it, or we can look at both. So, silver yesterday settled down by negative 2%, and that was after a jump in U.S. bond yields. So that's what's happening. It's a correction, but there's also something happening behind the scenes. This was undercut the competitive advantage of owning risk-free treasuries over bullion. Treasury rates punched higher overnight after early returns suggested that Democrats were on track to win both U.S. Senate seats in Georgia and thus control the Congress. An outcome that gives President-elect Joe Biden administration more room to roll out more debt to achieve his policy agendas. The dollar hit its lowest level in nearly 3 years on expectations that a Democrat-controlled Senate would pave the way for larger fiscal stimulus packages, and German annual consumer prices remained negative in December. So we also have a lockdown to contain a second wave of this virus, and this is the infections in Europe. The biggest economy kept inflation pressure subdued. So the sales of the Perth Mint silver coins also slid 15%. 941,000 ounces in December, their lowest since May, 30% lower than the same month a year ago. Despite the decline, Perth Mint said overall sales in 2020 were strong, with average monthly sales of minted products rising by 100% for gold and 42% for silver compared with 2019. So things still looking up. Demand is still high, but remember, that's not where the majority of our demand is coming from, especially for silver. And you can see that in the chart right here. 100% for gold, and that's because most gold is bought from individuals looking at it as, jewelry, coins, bars, necklaces, rings. Silver, not all the demand from silver, not all the silver bought or consumed is from individual investors like you and I. It's from, big business, big corporation companies that use it for iPhones, laptops, all the several different things that silver is used for in the industrial world. So technically, market is under long liquidation, as market has witnessed drop in open interest by negative 10%. And that's now silver getting up to the support at 68, which and below, same could see the test of the 66 levels. And resistance is now likely to be seen at 71. More, a move above could see prices testing 72. So I like that people are trying to bring the broader picture. But see, here's the thing. These articles are both written today. So you could see how one article, you could imagine if there's an investor, or imagine someone who doesn't even invest into silver, or someone that does, doesn't matter. Imagine someone gets online, they read this article, and they see that silver's down. This could drastically affect the way they invest for the worse, right? They could get more worried, they could start doubting. Or you could read this article, get online and read this article and see it's the number one performing asset, and it could even be a bigger year. So this could also drastically affect the way they invest. So you see how information plays such a big role. Imagine the person that reads this article compared to the person that reads this article. Which one do you think is going to have more faith in silver? Obviously, this one. Who's going to doubt silver more? This one. Who might switch precious metals into Bitcoin? This one. So it's very, very critical to research, to look at the full picture. Look at both sides of the coin, pun intended. Look at everything and remember why you invest into silver. People are probably switching into Bitcoin right now, and this is a terrible point to switch into Bitcoin because this is the highest price Bitcoin has ever been. You don't want to buy something when it's the highest price it's ever been. You want to buy it after it corrects. So, January 4th, 2021. The issue of Wall Street Journal included a section of reviewing financial markets of the year of 2020. Page R2, it listed about 85 assets from stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, and other ranked from the best 2020 performance to the worst. The top performer on the list was silver. Gold appeared in the 11th spot. So out of everything you can invest in, silver took the number one spot. Rose from $8.58 from $17.83 at the end of 2019 to $26.41 at the end of 2020. This was its highest dollar amount increase and percentage increase in any calendar year since 2010, obviously leading when silver was $50 in 2011. So silver's price increase in 2020 not only surpassed that of gold, it topped all of the currency stock and commodities that it tracks. And people will not talk about this. Why is this information so subdued? Why is this information not common knowledge? Why is this article the only one mentioning it? I haven't seen this information anywhere else. It's crazy. It's almost like people who don't invest in a silver don't want it to succeed because they have to admit that they were wrong or that they could have made a better decision. Think about this. Us silver stackers, Silver Slayer, me, you, anyone who buys silver, we had the number one performing asset in 2020. So literally anyone who invests in a Bitcoin, whatever it is, we made the smartest decision. We made the smartest choice. We did. It's crazy to think about. So, the major reason for my judgment comes from reviewing the announcements and actions of the U.S. government, the Federal Reserve Bank, and International Monetary Fund over the past 16 months. And this is why he's saying that 2021 will be even greater. So, they have taken multiple actions utilizing trillions of dollars of resources to prop the federal government and financial system's stability. At the same time, there have been repeated announcements about efforts to prevent public access to these events or to disguise them so that investors and the general public don't realize just how dire the risk of a looming catastrophe in financial markets really is. Let me just detail on the latest move to demonstrate. December 17th, Federal Reserve announced that it was changing the M1 definition of the money supply by adding savings accounts to the total. Up to now, savings accounts were included in the M2 and higher. Money supply did it because such funds are not necessarily immediately available for spending. So they're trying to almost cover up. They're trying to now backtrack and almost manipulate the data to make it seem like that, so people don't get scared. And in the same statement, the Fed also revealed that it will discontinue reporting weekly money supply data and start releasing the data monthly. I mean, that's another way to, I guess, not cause as much panic and keep people to have faith in the dollar. Because if people start to lose faith in the dollar, then the dollar loses value. The dollar's only as strong as people think it is. So if people start to think it's not strong, it literally isn't strong. So to further obscure the information, the Fed will stop reporting the specific money supply as of the end of the reporting period. Instead, the report will show the average money supply over the course of the previous month. So investors will no longer have access to current money supply data. Why is the government and the Federal Reserve trying to achieve by turning off this information? When you line up all of these actions and announcements in the same place at the same time, the implications are that the U.S. government and Federal Reserve Bank are absolutely terrified of a horrible economic crisis, potentially the worst in American history. Even if these fears are only partially realized in 2021, the value of the U.S. dollar could tank. A falling dollar would almost certainly result in soaring gold and silver prices as people seek safe havens for their wealth. Remember when I was talking about the dollar's on its last leg? This right here proves that they know what's happening too, and they're trying to keep everyone blind from it. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. They're trying to keep behind the scenes, because if this information gets out, there would be a panic. Precious metals would soar. We already know that's going to happen. That's why we buy it. But the people that don't invest in the precious metals, the people that don't know about all this, they're going to be they're going to be sadly mistaken, and they're going to be burnt the hardest, because they have nothing to show for it. They have nothing of real value that they own or that they could tap into at any moment in time like we do. So anyways, I thought this was a great couple of articles to go over, right? I think there's a lot of skeptics, a lot of people who are only going to read this article and really get it, or a lot of people that are only going to read this article and really hesitate on their decision making. But here's the thing. Regardless if you just read this article without the other one, if you just read this, if you understand silver's true value, if you understand the market, then this should not influence or change your decision or your choice or how you view silver's value at all whatsoever. If I only covered this article today, I would have broke it down, and I still would have been telling you guys to buy silver and how bullish it is and why it's the best investment. Still, regardless of the information saying that silver was the number one performing asset in 2020. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm doing big giveaways coming out soon. You definitely don't want to miss out. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be nice. Once we hit 40,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a $1,000 plus silver giveaway. So I got a lot of stuff happening. I also post on my second channel now. It's called The Root of All Evil. I'm talking about the corrupt financial system. I guess this video probably could have fit into that, but I want to focus more on precious metals on this channel. So a lot of stuff happening. Make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're supporting the channel. Appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.